Hiya, radio, just a small dream, but it can manipulate your life. It can cause havoc in your life. So many are wondering, why are we talking about radio or mass media in education? It will help a child who is there, a mother who is there, a father who is there, who might be lost because of the use of radio. So I want to bring the right to the whole society, not only the child, but also the entire family at large. So, which are the demerits of a radio or disadvantages of a radio? It uses the audio faculty of the user. It does not engage in visual aspects unless one creates the mental image in words. One cannot visual or cannot know what is happening, because many of us, including me, we want something which we are watching, which we see the movement, and which we see the aftermath of each and every episode. Another disadvantage, it is addiction. One can wonder, why are we talking about addiction? And we always find addiction in drug and substance use. Also, a radio is addiction. It is an addiction to many people. It is an element which brings about addiction. Maybe you like using the radio. You carry it in each and every area you go. You carry it at school. Instead of listening to what teacher is teaching, you listen to the radio. Some of the students even put on the earphones. The teachers see them laughing, and the teacher thinks that these people are getting mad. No. They are just listening to that dirty things through the radio. So if you are a teacher and you are there, you should be very careful. When you have a student there, you are seeing him or her laughing, and you don't know why that student is laughing. So you should be on the lookout. Others carry it at the place of work. That means they don't concentrate on doing their work fully. And we find that even some carry it at the social areas, like the church. You find instead of listening to the word, you switch on your small radio. You switch on. You put on even in the earphones, and you start listening to it. That is bad, totally bad. Also, we find that the use of earphone, it has disadvantage. Maybe you are walking through the road and you have earphone with you, and you are crossing the road, and a car can come from any direction. You are there knocked because you cannot hear any voice, any vehicle coming from different directions. So we have at least to know that if you are using an earphone, use it when it is necessary and at a safe place. Many accidents are happening because of that. I bear witness. The youth are being knocked down, not even the youth, even the grown-up people, because of using earphones when crossing the road. Another disadvantage, it is in the family and social relationship. Instead of concentrating on the family matters, you are there listening to the radio. You cannot listen to what your father is telling you, what your mother is telling you, what your siblings are telling you, and what your child is telling you. So you create a gap, and you start even making that radio as part of your family. So you have to avoid it in order to eliminate the gap which come about in the area of communication. As you know very well, a family starts because of communication. So we find that through the radio we get the inappropriate music played. And those musics, then we say that some are good, but others are not good. Some music are spiritual, well and good, but others are very inappropriate. What do you mean by inappropriate? They promote tribalism. Maybe one tribe will sing against the others, using their ethnic group. Maybe a Kikuyu cannot hear the language spoken by the other tribes, and vice versa. So we find that when they hear about the music which promotes violence, they start fighting amongst themselves, amongst the ethnic groups, and that should stop because it is not good. Also, it promotes the immorality. Some musics which are being played are very immoral. They tend to talk about the dirty things of which are not supposed to be exposed to our children. It is not supposed to be exposed to this generation which are growing up. And we find that even the radio is free to listen to, anybody can access it and listen to that immoral music. So we find that also a radio, it promotes the foreign programs. And those foreign programs, they brainwash the listeners. Maybe they lead to our cultural erosion, and we find that they discard our African culture. What are these African culture? The language is eroded. They start talking about something you cannot even understand. Maybe this young generation, when you take them to their grandpa, their grandma, they cannot even construct a sentence in their language. Instead of using the clear language, they use the foreign language, of which we find that our culture is eroded. Also the beliefs, they are eroded. Also the grooming, the dressing, it's eroded. Nowadays, when they hear about the explanation of how one is supposed to dress, they listen to it and they do it practically. They go and do the research. They go and buy those dresses. And that is why we have my dress, my choice. You find even some of us, even parents, they go with my dress, my choice. The people who you think they are role model to their children, they become negative to the whole episode. Instead of showing them how you are supposed to dress, they are the ones who are promoting my dress, my choice. They go on putting the tattoo. And we find that according to our culture or the ethnic culture, there was no tattoo which was promoted. So we find that this lesson is very useful, not only to our children, but also to the society at large. Follow me for more lessons. May God bless you. May God do you good. Shalom, shalom, shalom.